And I, wanting this change, and I thought, well, when am I going to get the chance to start a distillery again?
So that was my kind of like my boring corporate person's like chain to do something creative.
Welcome to Nc'nean's Whisky Six Social, and this week I am joined by Ed Smith, cook and food writer. The theme of these chats is all about doing things differently and not following the rules. So welcome.
Thanks.
Thought maybe where we could kick off was where it all started.
Okay.
Your career change from lawyer to food writer. I'd love to know what the inspiration for that was, whether it's a kind of attitude you have to life or whether it was just a moment of, I'm going to do something different.
Well, I think anyone who goes into becoming a lawyer isn't particularly rule-breaking or risk-averse in the first place.
Yeah.
So I'm not here as a example rebel, I don't think. But I was a corporate lawyer at a large firm for 5 years. 2 years before I left law, I started a food blog called Rocket and Squash, which I still do. And I did that purely as a creative outlet. I wanted to record the recipes or make myself cook something new every week and go to the restaurants that I was telling everyone else to go to, but never organising because I was too busy working. So that was my boring corporate person's like chain to do something creative. And I decided amidst all that I wanted to change career, and I kind of jumped, which was pretty against my normal nature.
Well, funny you should say that. It's actually a very similar story to me. I also come from a corporate background, also pretty risk averse, Yeah. I knew I wanted to change, but I'd been looking at fairly traditional roles, and then this idea of the distillery had started to develop in our family. And I just did it without too much more thinking, because I think if you overthink it, it can get a bit intimidating. I mean, I'm not sure I ever thought I would still be sitting here 7 years later, having only just launched the whiskey, but
it takes time.
Yeah, exactly. Do you drink whiskey?
Yes.
How do you like to drink whiskey?
I like whiskey on the rocks. I think it's my preferred way of taking it.
Well, let me introduce you to Nc'nean. So this is our first whiskey. We've obviously had to let it mature for 3 years, so it's a very big moment for us as a business. One of the ways that we really love to drink it, and I would love to introduce you to today, is with soda. Okay. We call it the Whisky Six because it is 2 parts whiskey, 4 parts soda, and it makes a lovely drink at 6 o'clock.
That's good.
So
this is kind of what I do often drink at that kind of hour. It'd be like a Campari soda.
Yes.
Sort of refreshing, but slightly savoury way into... Exactly.
Great alternative to that. Campari soda has that lovely bitterness. And this has just a lovely savouriness to it. It's also just a lovely long way of drinking whiskey without having to...
So you don't drink it all in one go?
You don't drink it all. It's like a gin and tonic.
Okay, nice.
Exactly. There you are.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers. That's nice. It's quite light with the soda.
Very light. And the idea of it partly is that the soda doesn't drown the whiskey that we've spent 3 years toiling to create.
Yeah. Because I normally drink it on the rocks. Because I like whiskey cold and probably actually a tiny bit diluted. And sometimes I meet people who only want to have whiskey completely straight, maybe saying that why would you dilute what's been distilled? And why have you decided to dilute it further with soda? We have no problem with people drinking it neat on the rocks, however they want to drink it. We just really want to kind of bring a focus to this particular drink. It's a classic, right? It's not new. It's been around for ages and ages. But I think it's a lovely, slightly different way of drinking it. It's perfect for people who don't like neat alcohol, of whom there are a lot in the world. It's also perfect if you don't, quite often there's not that after dinner occasion that people associate with neat whiskey. Whereas this can fit in a... Moving it forward.
Exactly, bring it earlier in the day. And also I just think it's really delicious.
It is, I'll give you that. It's nice that it's not sweet.
Which I really love, because I really love gin and tonic, but I do find that after one, that's probably as much as I can have because I've had enough of the sweetness, whereas this is, I feel like you could kind of drink it all night. So what role does drink have when you're thinking about your cooking and writing?
I think it plays a really important role, and I definitely don't ignore drink in my food, and I guess there are 2 aspects to that. One is about flavour. I think flavour is really important. The bottom line, something's got to taste good. And I think that extends to drink. There's no point spending hours making a meal and ignoring what you're going to have to drink, because you can make everything better. You can enhance your food with delicious drink. And in themselves, I think people can be a bit complacent. I
think that's also true in whiskey, because people can be accused of being whiskey bores,
right?
Especially when you're getting told off for drinking it long or with ice or whatever. And I think it's quite important that in whiskey we move away from that as well, and people feel a bit more freedom to drink it however they want. And so the next thing I would love to ask you about is your cookbooks, and in particular On the Side, which I just think is a brilliant idea.
Thanks.
Where did it come from? What was the inspiration?
The way I cook was maybe slightly different to some people, in that I very often start with a side dish when I'm thinking about a meal. And I often get a little bit vexed when I have a meal that has side dishes that have been ignored. So again, a bit like if you spend hours and loads of money on a centerpiece for a meal, which is often what's pushed out there, and then serve it with the same overcooked carrots and mashed potato, which don't fit with it. So why not start your meal planning with the side dishes?
And what is next for you personally?
So I've been, over the lockdown, I've been writing another cookbook.
Very exciting.
Not because of lockdown, but it was already happening. It's called Crave. It's a cookbook arranged by 6 different flavour profiles, because I think when you come home or you're thinking about what to cook at the weekend, we can all overanalyze things a little bit, and actually sometimes you just want to say, tonight I want something really fresh, or I'm in a really glum mood, I want something cheesy and creamy, I want to sit on the sofa. It's kind of hopefully responding to those trigger points with really nice recipes.
Well, thank you so much, Ed, for joining me today.
My pleasure.
It's been absolutely wonderful to have you.
Love to chat.
If you want to follow what Ed's up to, follow him on Instagram at Rocket and Squash. Cheers.
Cheers. It's delicious, by the way.